So back on the podcast, happy to be joined by Tom Brady, Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback, which is really probably one of the strangest opens to a podcast I've ever done, because I just never thought this day would come, but here it is. And Tom, I guess I would start off by saying that in going out and watching you at practice today and seeing you in the creamsicle jersey is just really one of the oddest things that I've seen in a long time. And I wonder, when you first put on a different uniform, did you find yourself looking in the mirror and saying, this is really, really strange?
I think that when you've been in a place for 20 years, it's there's so much familiarity to a lot of different things, and certainly even the clothes you wear. So, I knew every color combination that I had for 20 years. And, I think I came down here and I said the other day, I didn't know where the quarterback room was. I didn't know where we were supposed to eat meals. You put on these different jerseys. It's all a little bit different. So every day that goes by, it's getting a little more up to speed with different things. And there's a lot to catch up on based on how the off season went. And now that it's really the Thursday before we would have had our first preseason game today, and we still haven't put pads on. So that's pretty unique. So it's just a lot of different things about 2020, and going to try to make the most of it like I always have.
Has it hit you yet that, that all of the adjustments you've had to make? I mean, Joe Montana was in San Francisco for 13 years. Peyton Manning in Indianapolis for 13 years. You were in New England for 20 years.
Yep.
Does it still feel odd to go out to practice with a new team for a new coach in the most stifling humidity you've ever felt in your life?
I know, I feel like I mastered the cold weather because I just been up there for so long, exactly how to do it. And here it's a different type of inclement weather. So it has its challenges, and it's just, you just sweat so much. But I'll get used to that. And I think for me, it's just trying to familiarize myself with all the things that I need to do a great job for this team. So, it's a new experience for me. It's been really fun getting to know my teammates, my coaches, and, going out there and, every team has different challenges every year, and every player has different challenges based on their situation. And some guys are young guys trying to make a career, and some guys are older and, trying to, really finish out their career the way they want. I'm definitely, closer to the end than I am the beginning. But, I want to go out there and I want to have a great year for this team.
It was about 10 or 12 years ago where you said to me that you wanted to play at least until you were 40 or maybe beyond that. So now that you're playing at age 43, physically, how exactly do you feel right now?
I feel pretty good. All things considered, I think I think we trained pretty hard this off season. It definitely, at this age has its challenges. I just have to be so diligent with how I take care of myself. There's really not a lot of room for error. So all the pliability treatments I get, they're daily. The way I work out, I have to be really conscious of that. Have to eat the right things. Got to stay hydrated. You just can't, probably never could, get away with, fast food and things like that. Maybe you think you can, but in the end, I think all those things always catch up to you. So, I've had a belief that, for a long period of time, this was what my goal would be. And I think over the years, my routine and process for taking care of my body's gotten better and better. So that's really allowed me to get to this point where I feel like I have a lot of knowledge. I still physically feel like I can throw the football well and get the job done. And again, I got to work hard at it. So it's not like there's anything easy about football in general. And certainly in your 40s, it gets tougher than when you're in your 30s.
But in terms of the physical demands of your job, the condition of your legs, how your arm feels, does it feel like you can definitely play an NFL season the way you feel right now?
How did it look today out there at practice?
I think it looked pretty good.
I think it feels pretty good. So there's a lot of,
This is the thing. This is the thing that surprised me today about this practice. And look, I don't know what you guys do. I don't know what you will be doing. I always say to people when they say, hey, you saw them at training camp, how'd they look? Well, I mean, that is the ultimate snapshot. I mean, how do you know what anybody is going to do on any given day? Today at 9 o'clock, you go out and you're doing all of these things where you're running around. You know, you're throwing from outside the pocket. You're weaving in and out of people. You're getting balls thrown at, you know, the Bosu ball or whatever those balls are called, thrown at you, you know. And I just started to think to myself, man, Brady, this is not Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the pocket guy. He's not running out of the pocket all the time and throwing it the way he is now. But those are drills, so you just don't know. But in my opinion, watching you, you looked good and fairly nimble, and your arm, which I think everybody wanted to know about your arm in the wake of last season, toward the end of last season. So we'll start with that. How does your arm feel now? And how do you feel in this offense where there's going to be a lot of demands on your arm to throw it downfield?
Well, I'd say I feel really good. I think my arm is as strong and as good and as in shape as it's ever been. You know, I think every offense demands some different things, and you know, everybody has a different way of. I'd say everyone has a different belief of how to essentially move the ball down the field and score points. You know, I think if you talk to 32 different offensive coordinators, they're going to give you 32 different ideas of what they think in their mind best suits the team and the players and so forth. So, again, being in one place and you have that familiarity, which is why I think continuity in the NFL is so important. When you look at Sean Payton and Drew Brees, you know, they're so on the same page with their belief of how to do that, that it provides them a lot of margin of error. So in a really condensed format like we have, we're trying to get on the same page, myself, Byron, you know, BA, trying to really understand each other. They obviously know how I've done things. I'm trying to understand how they do things, so that it can be as efficient as possible. Again, also understanding that, you know, we both come from different backgrounds and ideas, which is totally fine. And I think that I've really enjoyed the opportunity of getting to, you know, understand kind of the way they do things. So it's been good. You know, I said this the other day, it's my 30th year playing football, including high school. And this is the first time I've ever had an offensive head coach. So that provides something a little bit different for the quarterback.
That's amazing. That really is amazing.
Yeah, 30 years of high school, college, and then pro football, and I've had, you know, the first time it's been an offensive coach, so it's interesting. So, but it's been a lot of work, and it's been enjoyable. And I'm really, you know, I'm motivated to go out there and do a great job. That's what I want to do. I want to go have a great season, and I know there's a lot that's going into it. There's a lot of uncertainty with different things that are probably out of our control. But what I've tried to control is myself, my preparation, and put myself in a position where I can go out there and help the team win games.
Did you draw any motivation from the fact that when you signed with Tampa, a lot of people, both in my business and some NFL people, said, man, that's not the greatest fit. Brady doesn't have the deep arm that Bruce Arians wants in his offense?
You know, I think there's, again, everybody's got an opinion about a lot of different things. And I certainly, my opinion probably is the only one that really matters to me. So I think that in the end, you can prove them wrong or you can prove them right. And, you know, I think for me, I got the opportunity to go out there and play, and I'm going to make the most of it. And I'm going to do what I've always done. So, you know, it's just going to have to go out there and do it. There's certainly no entitlements. I would say that, you know, there's no, you got to go earn it in football. I mean, regardless of what you say or think or what anyone says or thinks, it doesn't matter because you get a chance to go out there and prove it. So I never really put a lot of credence or credit into what, I have a belief or confidence in myself, but I still got to go do it and prove it to myself too. And I think that's what motivates me and gets me, going each day, that I don't give a shit what happened yesterday, day before, today's the day. And that's where you got to put your time and energy.
Are you happy?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a good word.
Well, I wonder, because you make this life-changing decision. You've got one chance basically to have a second life in this game. I mean, probably one chance. And you chose Tampa Bay. And it wasn't the only choice that you could have made. And I just wonder, as you sit here right now, are you happy you made this choice?
Yeah, I thought long and hard about, making the decision. I thought I put a lot of really careful thought into everything that I really valued. I probably listed 20 different things that were important. I had a weighted scale about what was, not so important, but,
what was really important on that scale?
Those are personal things, truthfully. Yeah. Those are personal things. When I added it all up, Tampa seemed like it was a great opportunity. And if I think back at the decision, I'm so happy the decision I made, because it's, again, we got to go out there and play football, and that's going to require something totally different. But I've really enjoyed working with the guys, and it's been a lot of fun.
I think there will probably be Brady-ologists who will look at both this decision and the fact that you're not on the Patriots anymore and think that something really untoward happened. And I've always sort of had this feeling about you, and you're going to tell me whether this is right or wrong. And my feeling is that, you basically live in the day and for the day and in the moment. And I've always felt, since you made this decision, that a big part of it was, wouldn't it just be cool to have another life experience? And I don't know how much of that it was, but since I haven't talked to you since then, how much of that was part of your decision? Just to do something new, to try something new?
I don't think it was, I think for anyone to make a different, a decision, you just got to weigh the different, opportunities that you have. And, I spent 20 years in one place, and I left on great terms. And I have so much respect for everybody at that organization, Mr. Kraft and Jonathan and Coach Belichick and Josh, who I worked with, and all the players and coaches that have meant so much to me in my life, that are close friends, that will continue to be that way. But it was I made a decision to do something different, and it was a very thoughtful decision. It wasn't, a spurt of the moment thing. It was, some people that I really talked with and confided in, and thought about, making this type of decision, and it's really worth it to me. I mean, I'm really excited about this opportunity for me as a player. And to go to an organization that, I feel like is committed to winning, and, a lot of really solid players that are motivated. And really, since the moment I got here, they've embraced me. They've embraced me with, the opportunity to go lead the team. And that's a big responsibility for me. And, I want to go out there and I want to do a great job. And again, it's one thing to say, it's another to do it. And I'm always focused on the doing and less saying. So everyone could make predictions, but for me, it's all about process and how you can improve a process so you can gain more margin of error when you actually got to get on the field and the games count. So we're still a month from that. That's a month to the day. And we got a lot of ground to make up, especially me. I think, again, I said continuity, I think, is the most important thing in NFL. Well, I haven't had a lot of continuity here. So that's one thing I'm definitely that's working against us, but we're going to try to make up for it as best we can. And it's been a lot of time and energy the last couple of weeks in here getting accustomed to the offense, the calls, kind of the ways that there's so many intricacies to football that are always changing and always challenging based on matchups on a week-to-week basis. And, you know, it's got to just be everybody trusting and committed to one another that we can go out there and, you know, take what's ahead of us on a daily basis and try to do a great job. So that part I've really enjoyed.
Hey, Tom Brady, have a fun year, and really appreciate you spending time with me. Thank you.
Yeah, great to see you. I don't think there's a Zoom call, whatever this is, but it's great to be on your show.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.